This week I'm driving the 2021 Mercedes-Benz Gle Coupe 63S Amg 4MATIC Plus. This is the top dog for the GLE lineup. Design-wise, the GLE Coupe's got a few differences because this one's an AMG model, so you got a different grille, different front bumper on this one. So it's more aggressive, more sportier, I could say. On this side, we've got some massive 22 inches wheels. These wheels are typical German wheels. They remind me of BBS wheels. As you can see, we have some massive brakes. We have the choice of 3 brakes for the GLE. We have the base one, the optional AMG, like these one, with the drill disc and all that. And also you can upgrade for the ultimate brake, the carbon ceramic massive brake. So if we step on the side, this is a coupe model, so it's been cut, you know, not like the GLE. So it's way more aerodynamic, sportier and all that. So it's less boxy like the GLE. And on the back, we have a small spoiler here. And finally, in the back, we have a quad exhaust finished in black to hear the sound of your V8 B-turbo. Trunk-wise, this is where you have to make your sacrifice when you're choosing the coupe model versus the normal GLE model. You get less cargo space, you have a cargo shade here, but if you compare those two models, the GLE and the GLE Coupe, the Coupe is way, less practical than the normal GLE. So you have to make a sacrifice on this, but you have a big opening with this hatch, so that can be practical, to really enter some big object into your trunk, but still less practical. Stepping in the back of the GLE Coupe, this is where you have to make another sacrifice by choosing the coupe model. I'm not able to fit behind myself. It's pretty tight, for my legs and also my head. It was not the case in the GLE non-coupe, I could say. In the GLE normal model, not the coupe, I had plenty of space for my legs, my head. So if you want to carry kids and having a decent amount of space here, maybe even carrying more kids than 2, just 2 adults can fit here, but it's kind of tight. Once again, you have to make some sacrifice to have that sexy sporty coupe model. Under the hood, this is a 63S Amg, so we got something good under the hood. This is a V8 B-turbo 4-liter with EQ boost. This is good for 603 horsepower and 627 foot-pounds of torque. This engine is matched to a 9-speed transmission. It's hand-built by AMG. As you can see, we can see on the top of this engine the signature, who handcrafted that engine at AMG. Really good engine, pretty powerful. This is the same kind of engine you'll find under the hood of our AMG GT, GTS, GTR. So twin turbo, a lot of power. So you've got that amazing, sport car engine under the shelf of a coupe SUV. So that's pretty cool. All right, the GLE Coupe AMG's got a launch control, so I'm gonna test the acceleration, see if this thing is quick off the line. It's pretty quick. First gear is not really aggressive like a Trackhawk. It doesn't let you slip or spin, I could say, but once you're in the second gear, it really pushes. You feel that power from the V8 B-turbo. It's a beast, but obviously I think it's faster at higher speed. This engine is really, good for highway, autobahn speed, I could say, but it's still pretty quick off the line. And I feel, this thing can do a little bit better if it had a better fuel inside of the tank. All right, I'm getting closer to my famous curve where I test all my cars. Good downshift. Yes. This SUV is really sharp, you know. Good handling, that's really solid. This is due to the 4MATIC Plus. This system is really magical, I could say. It's, you know, overall, from all the SUVs I really push in that curve, this is one of the best one by far. Yes, some of other SUVs like the X5M I tested earlier last year, it was on winter tires, so it's not on equal territories, I could say. But overall, you know, if you compare this one to a Trackhawk, this one's gonna destroy the Trackhawk in a curve, that's for sure. All right, on the road with the Gle Coupe Amg 63S 4MATIC Plus. Real long name. This one's got all the bells and whistles. Actually, not every little option, but it's a pretty well equipped Mercedes-Benz. So this week, you know, the coupe version, I already drove the Gle, I could say non-coupe. I was really, you know, satisfied. I really like that Gle. But one thing, while I was driving the Gle 53 Amg, I wish I had a little bit more power. I wish I had the 63 Amg. And finally, I'm driving the 63 Amg. I really like that V8 B-turbo. It's got plenty of power, especially on the highway. This is an highway machine. It's built for the Autobahn. It's got a lot of like torque and, you know, a lot of oof, I could say, on the highway. It's got a lot of juice, you know, to go to higher speed. Under 100 kilometers an hour, it's not super aggressive. It's not like Trackhawk, I could say. But one thing during my review this week, I'm pretty sure of that. I think I had a full tank of regular fuel, low octane fuel. This is a V8 B-turbo. You know, you have to put 91 octane or 94. That's something, you know, when you have those high performance engine, especially these ones are hand built by AMG, you must put those high octane gas inside of these cars. It's really important. This engine's got a lot of torque, 627 of torque. The 9-speed transmission works really well. It's really quick. It's one of the best transmission I drove in a sport SUV. I really dig that transmission with that engine. You know, I feel, you know, the recipe a little bit of the AMG GTS I drove last year with the guys from Luta Ride. It's pretty much the same powertrain, you know, but inside of a SUV shell, I could say. But it's a lot of fun, great noise. I wish you had a little bit, you know, more exhaust note. You know, it's kind of quiet. You know, when you rev it, you get some pop a little bit, but it's not that loud. I wish it could be a little bit louder for AMG. On the road, the Gle handles pretty well. Great handling, a lot of grip, fantastic to drive. Comfort-wise, you know, it's still pretty comfortable. Good seats, good ride on the road. A lot of noise from the exterior, you know, for this kind of price. You know, I wish we had a better experience inside of the cabin. That's one of the down points I really noticed this week. It's probably because it's an AMG with performance tires and all that, so they make a little bit more noise on the road. But, you know, usually I'm not really picky, but this week, this one is really expensive. So speaking of the price, this Gle Coupe is gonna run you for a good 160,000 as tested, this one. And this one is not fully loaded. There's some option missing, like the carbon ceramic brakes and all that. I'm sure you can top 175,000 Canadian for a fully loaded Gle Coupe 63 AMG. It's really expensive. When it's really expensive like that, you can be kind of picky, and you know, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of things you can buy with 160,000. One thing I really like about this interior, it's really the steering wheel. You can do a lot of things with the steering wheel. I like this knob. You can switch from Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and Race. It's easy access, and just the steering wheel looks pretty good. It's pretty much the same steering you're gonna find inside of AMG GTS. There's also some buttons here you can configure as you wish. So now I put the exhaust and the auto start. It's fun. Those paddle shifter too feels kind of good, you know. They're not in cheap plastic, they're in metal. So when you're shifting your gears, you feel, you know, and something special. Overall, the interior looks really good. I like those screen. It feels like a big screen, but actually it's two screen, but it feels like just one screen. I like that carbon fiber finish. Really good sound system. Pretty expensive option for that sound system, but it's a pretty good sound system. One thing I don't like, it's really where they put the wireless charging for your phone. It's my phone barely fit in that space. I have a hard time to, you know, reach it with my big hands. If you put a coffee or a bottle of water there, it's almost impossible to reach your phone. So that's a down point for the interior. And also overall, the infotainment is really complicated. You know, if you're not into technology and stuff like that, you really have to get used to those touchscreen buttons, the mouse pad and all that. From my point of view, you know, it's typical German cars, I know, but it's too complicated for nothing. Sometimes, you know, make those things easier, and sometimes your customer is gonna be happier. And I can put myself into the shoes of an older gentleman who never owned a Mercedes-Benz, and when they step inside of a Mercedes-Benz, it's too complicated for them easily. So, you know, Mercedes should consider, you know, make it a little bit simpler for the normal user. Fuel economy wise, this week I was pretty surprised. I was averaging around 13 liters per 100 kilometers. And this is with some sport mode and Sport Plus and race mode and all that. So, you know, it's pretty good for more than 600 horsepower. I think it's one of the best fuel economy wise for the power I had to test in an SUV. And this is due to the EQ boost. Once again, I went a little bit deeper in the GLE review about the EQ boost. It removed all your pulleys and straps and all that. It gives you an electric boost, you know, when you really need it, when you start, when you're gonna take a little bit more fuel. This technology was developed in F1, so it's gonna help you with the fuel economy overall. You know, I'm on the highway right now. I'm averaging around 11 liters per 100 kilometers. This is pretty good, you know, for a big V8 B-turbo. Overall, you know, from my point of view, I don't like the coupe. that's something. My wife loves it, you know, but for overall, I think this SUV is pretty expensive. I love the engine, I love the transmission, but 160,000, it's quite expensive. You know, I think had a better experience with the BMW X5M competition I had. I know it's not the direct competition, I could say. Probably later this summer, I'm gonna drive the BMW X6M competition again. I think that's more the direct competitor to this one. But you know, the X5 I drove had like a little bit more power. I think it was better looking, and overall it was way cheaper, maybe 30,000 less than this one. It's quite expensive. It's tough for me this week to say yes, it's worth it. It's quite expensive. Maybe you don't need all those super expensive options inside, and lower down the price and still keep that awesome V8 B-turbo. But overall, from my point of view, it's a little bit overpriced. So let me know in the comments, do you prefer the GLE or the GLE Coupe? Do you think the price is right for this SUV? Let me know. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Also, I'm gonna put my Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everything in the description, and we're gonna see each other on the next review.